Arsenal were crowned Emirates Cup winners for a fifth time despite losing 2-1 to Sevilla on day 2 of the tournament. Arsene Wenger's side entered the break at 0-0 but should really have been ahead with Hector Bellerin, Danny Welbeck and Laurent Koscielny all guilty of squandering good chances. The visitors were ahead shortly after the restart when Joaquin Correa notched past Petr Cech, but the Gunners were level on the hour mark when Alexandre-Lacazette tapped home after good work from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. The Gunners were behind with 10 minutes to play though after former Stoke midfielder Steven Zonzi found the top corner with a stunning strike. Sevilla won both of their games on each day of the tournament, but Arsenal scored more goals, meaning they were crowned champions. In the grand scheme of things, very little. Wenger has given his squad a good run out in the last 2 days and results mean very little during pre-season. Nevertheless, Wenger will be left pondering whether to continue with a back three going into the season after the Gunners appeared shaky at the back. As for positives, Oxlade-Chamberlain did his chances of starting against Chelsea no harm with an eye-catching display, while Welbeck was another notable performer. Despite Sevilla winning both games, the trophy went to Arsenal, but it's a hollow victory after today's result. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain started the game at left wing back, but it wasn't until switching to the other flank in the second half that the England international became a regular threat. Hector Bellerin's departure at half-time allowed Chamberlain to move over to his more comfortable position, and it didn't take long for the former Southampton man to make his mark. Correa's goal actually gave Arsenal some impetus, and the Gunners were level through Lacazette after fine work from Chamberlain down the right-hand side. The winger slalomed through Sevilla's defence before fizzing an inviting ball to the back post where Lacazette hit the equaliser. There's still huge uncertainty over Chamberlain's future at the club, but today's performance was certainly a message to Wenger. With Jack Wilshere back at the club, Elneny is further down the pecking order under Wenger, and he failed to stake a claim for a central defensive position with a questionable performance against Sevilla. The Egyptian started in the middle of a back three for the Gunners and was culpable for handing chances to the rapid Ben Yedder in the first half. Elneny is clearly more comfortable in midfield, but he lacked awareness and his positioning was panicking Koscielny and Monreal either side of him in defence. Joaquin Correa put the visitors ahead shortly after half-time, and Elneny gave the Argentine far too much time and space before slotting past Petr Cech. The 25-year-old remains a useful squad player, but he will remain just that on today's showing. Bellerin is perfectly suited to the full-back role and provided plenty of energy down Arsenal's right flank, but he's far from the finished article. The Spaniard had, by his own admission, problems with his form last season, but he's regained Wenger's trust. Bellerin combined well with Mesut Ozil down the right, but should have put his side ahead when he was found by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain midway through the first half. The Spain U21 man met Chamberlain's cross at the back post but fired his half-volley miles over the bar from just 5 yards out. Lacazette was bought for one thing and one thing only: goals. The France international did what he was bought for midway through the second half when he tapped home from inside the 6-yard box. Nevertheless, it was notable to see how little interest the Frenchman showed in getting involved in the Gunners' build-up play. Lacazette was constantly playing on the shoulder of Sevilla's defence, and his lack of involvement gave more space to Ozil and Welbeck. Wenger has been looking for a forward in this ilk for a while, hence his interest in Jamie Vardy last summer. Lacazette's movement was certainly impressive, but Gunners shouldn't expect anything more than a ruthless goal-scorer. The Gunners found some form towards the end of last season by reverting to a back three, but they were far too charitable against an exciting Sevilla side. Bellerin and Chamberlain are good options going forward, but neither of the full-backs looked particularly keen to maintain their defensive duties, and this exposed a back three with Elneny at its heart. Wenger's spent big on Lacazette this summer, but it's Arsenal's defence that remains the worry. The Gunners conceded 44 league goals last term, and that figure has been creeping up and up in recent campaigns. They'll need to tighten up at the back if they're to have any chance of winning the title.